Today I want to talk about how you can create your own magical girl manga, comic, or light novel. The magical girl genre features characters who are able to transform into magical forms and use these forms to use magical powers or abilities in order to usually fight a common enemy or protect the people of the town. However, keep in mind that the magical girl genre itself does not need to mean that the magical characters themselves have to be girls. Your magical girl characters can be girls, boys, or any gender you would prefer. So keep this in mind as you are writing your own magical girl stories. So let's get fully into this video with my first tip. My first tip for writing a magical girl manga, comic, or light novel is to combine it with other genres. There are so many different forms of magical girl stories you could create, and many of the most unique and memorable magical girl stories are the ones that are combined with various other genres. For example, there may be magical stories that also combine science fiction aspects, horror aspects, or fantasy aspects in order to fully tell the story. And these genres that you combine it with not only apply in the story itself, but also in the characters' designs. If you are creating a science fiction based story, then the designs of the characters would likely be more futuristic and use a lot more technology. This would also relate to your characters' powers as well. Their powers would more likely be associated with them using technology or machines in order to fight battles. Or if your magical girl story is something more fantasy based, the powers might be more focused on as being something supernatural or fantastical. My second tip is consider the main theme. The theme of the story is the main message and the morals behind the story that you're really wanting to get across to your audience. So, for example, if you were creating a story that would be more about hope, you would show your magical characters having to go through situations where they would need to learn how to have hope or believe in themselves and believe in the people around them. Understanding the theme behind your story can help you to make your story a lot more meaningful when you are presenting it to your audience. My third tip is know where the powers are coming from. And the best way to do this is to understand the power system behind your story so you can more easily develop your character's powers and understand how they might use those powers. The best way to first begin to develop your character's powers is to understand the power source. Now, for many magical characters, the power might be something that already exists in your story. Maybe it is more normal and commonplace for characters throughout your book to be able to gain magical abilities and use those magical powers. Or in many cases in magical girl stories, the characters are approached by some kind of supernatural or science fiction being, sometimes like an alien or a magical being, that grants the characters their powers and tells them that they must use their powers to protect people or save the planet. Regardless of where your character's powers are coming from, it's important to keep it in mind because it not only affects where they get the powers, but also how they may use those powers in battle. By the way, if you are enjoying this video so far and you want to learn more, I would recommend checking out my full extended course on this subject, all about how to create amazing magical girl mangas, comics, or light novels. It's a complete guide to writing all aspects of this genre, from the character creation, the development of the story, and putting it all together into an amazing magical girl tale. The full course is only $14.99 and it's available on my website, MidnightXCross.com. Now let's get back into the video. My fourth tip is create a purposeful design. Your magical characters' designs are one of the most eye-catching aspects, and it's one of the most prominent parts of this particular genre. There are two aspects to your character's design that you really need to keep in mind. The first is how the design looks, and the second is how the design has a purpose in the story. If your story has a lot of science fiction or fantasy aspects, this would likely be reflected a lot in their outfit. For a science fiction character's outfit, their outfit may have a lot of futuristic aspects or a lot of technology in their design. For a character who may be set in a fantasy world, their outfit would likely have different magical properties or abilities that may not exist in our world. Or in another example, maybe you incorporate your character's personality into their design. So if your character is more of a cheerful, upbeat, or a cute character, maybe their outfit would be more brighter and cheerful to reflect this. Or maybe your character might want a more simplistic outfit, and so maybe their magical outfit would reflect that as well. Now, in the purpose of your character's outfit, it's important to understand what kind of weapons and techniques they may need to use. If your character needs to move around a lot in battle, they may need an outfit that really moves well with them, not something that's really constrictive that may slow them down. Or maybe your character needs to carry around heavy weapons with them. Or maybe a part of their outfit is able to hold or condense the weapon so it's easier to travel around without always carrying around a bulky weapon. Their outfit itself may also be able to help them speed up in battle or to slow down when they need to. So really consider what your character's outfit really needs to help them with throughout the book and how it may reflect the powers that your character has. My fifth tip is give them a reason. Why do your characters have their powers? When a magical character is given their powers, it's usually for a really important reason, usually either to save the planet or to save the people in their town close to them. It doesn't always have to be this way, so really consider what it means in your story and why your character in particular was chosen in the story and why they need to use their powers. Maybe it's simply to find something that has been lost, or maybe it's to help a specific person with something in the story. Or maybe your character does need to save people or help the people around them. There are many times in darker magical girl stories where the powers may actually be at the cost of something else. So maybe the characters gain powers, but they end up losing something else that was important to them. Whatever the case is, consider what it means for your character to have their powers, what they gain from developing these powers, and maybe also what they may lose by using these powers, maybe too consistently, or what things they may have to give up in order to be the magical girl they need to be in your story. My sixth tip is give them a motivating goal. This is especially important if your character's purpose with their powers is something really important. Their goal will be what will drive them throughout the story. It will be their main purpose and role throughout the book. So when you're creating your magical character, think about what really motivates them to take action. Maybe there are a lot of really important people around them that they really want to protect, and they know that if they don't step into their magical purpose, then they won't be able to protect these people that matter to them. Or maybe they realize that they need to do something important for the sake of the planet, and so they step into their role to take action on this. Or maybe your character simply wants to enjoy being a magical character, and they want to use their powers to help people in small ways throughout the town. So really think about your character's main purpose and their main goal, what they really want to strive towards throughout the story, not only as a magical girl, but also who they are when they're not being a magical girl. And that brings me on to my seventh tip. My seventh tip is think of your character beyond their magical powers. Your character is more than just their powers, even in a magical story, where the powers will be a stronger focus. And in order to create a really powerful book in this genre, it's important to balance these aspects, finding out who your character needs to be when they are magical, and who they need to be when they are simply in their everyday life. When showing your character in their everyday life, think about what they may need to do daily, and how their magical aspects may show in their everyday forms. For example, if your character as a magical girl is someone who really wants to help people or save the day, maybe even in their everyday forms, they're still someone who really looks out for the people around them and wants to help others when it matters the most. Maybe when your character is transformed, maybe there's someone who was able to be more confident, but in their everyday form, maybe there's someone who is a little bit more shy or reclusive, and maybe they wish they could feel more confident like they do when they are a magical character. Understanding that your magical character is not just magical all the time is a really great way to make your characters feel more believable and realistic. And finally, my eighth tip is consider how their powers affect their daily lives. Now this also really depends on the kind of magical girl story you are creating. If magical girl powers are very commonplace in your world and basically everyone has magical powers, then it would be less significant for your character to have powers also. But if it's more rare for your characters to have superpowers and be magical, then maybe your magical character would be someone who stands out more. This might be especially dangerous if it's quite rare for there to be magical characters, and maybe your character wants to protect their identity and not be noticed, especially if there are villains that are trying to figure out who they are in their daily lives. It might become really difficult for your magical character to balance their magical girl life and their daily life as well, especially if they are working or going to school. If they're working or going to school, they might suddenly realize that they need to go and save the day, but they might need to be in one place in their everyday form. The balance between who they are in their daily life and their magical character life is something that would be kind of stressful at times, and it's important to reveal that in your story also in order to make it more realistic and to make your characters believable. Thank you so much for watching my video today, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know in the comment section down below. If If you enjoyed this video and you want to see a full extended course of this, I've created a full guide with step-by-step lessons to how to create your own magical girl manga, comic, or light novel. The course is designed to take you through the full process of creating your magical girl story, from developing the characters, creating their powers, making a really interesting world for these characters to be in, and how to tell your magical character story from beginning to end. If you want to join the full course, make sure to check it out on my website MidnightXCross.com/courses. It is available for only $14.99 and you'll be able to have access to the course whenever you would like to continue at your own pace. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day and I will see you in the next video. Bye!